A nearly $1 million loan helps give Missoula's new Marriott Hotel a running start.
Montana's representative says he's committed to transparency while his mugshot is released to the public.
And there's no end in sight for a deadly and destructive firestorm engulfing Northern California tonight.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on KPAX, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, I'm Jill Valley.
And I'm Dennis Bragg. Construction on a new Marriott Hotel at the site of the old Missoula Mercantile is well underway.
And as MTN's Eric Clements reports, a hefty loan from the Montana and Idaho Community Development Corporation is making sure the project is able to create plenty of good jobs in downtown Missoula.
The Montana and Idaho Community Development Corporation does what it can to help regional businesses grow. Through loan programs, they've helped finance several Montana projects over the years, aiming to create good jobs.
You know, a hotel in Sidney, Montana, a wood products manufacturing company in Deer Lodge, and then right here in Missoula, 3 businesses now that really worked to create economic opportunity for low-income workers.
The program pays for these loans through grants it receives. Recently, the Community Development Corporation won a nearly $800,000 award from the Office of Community Services and U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. That money, too, is destined for a Montana business, one that's seen its share of controversy over the year, the Marriott Hotel at the site of the old Missoula Merc. The nearly $800,000 loan will go to help pay for employee training at the new Marriott Hotel, so staff can hit the ground running when it's time to check in the first guest.
So it's one of those loans that will allow the hotel to get up and running and provide these jobs for many years.
Glaser says the Marriott was selected because of the need to create those good-paying jobs in downtown Missoula.
That's exactly right, and these jobs will be accessible to low-income people, and those jobs will be strong jobs with benefits, and so that's exactly why right there.
He was unable to divulge the details of the loan, but says it's long-term and low interest. He says once the money is paid back, it'll be lent out again to another project deemed worthy, starting the cycle all over. In Missoula, Eric Clements, MTN News.
The hotel itself is expected to open in December of 2018. Meanwhile, in the Flathead, the Kalispell Chamber of Commerce is holding its final luncheon of this year, next Tuesday, to talk about improving the downtown area. Leaders want to brainstorm how Kalispell can accelerate the investment in the downtown core area now that the timeline is set for removing those railroad tracks. The head of the Redevelopment Authority in Denver, Tracy Huggins, is going to be there to talk about how Denver handled its own redevelopment. Chamber President Joe Unterreiner says Denver is one of the best examples in the western U.S. for successful urban redevelopment, and he hopes to find out what went well and what didn't when Denver was under construction.
Not just their successes, but we want to learn, what they would change, maybe what worked, but also what didn't work, things they might have done differently, ways that we can leverage both public and private resources to help accelerate investment and job growth in the downtown area is what this luncheon is going to be all about.
And if you'd like to go, it's next Tuesday, but you need to register by the end of the week. On Friday, you can contact the Chamber office if you're interested. Well, turning now to weather, Aaron says we could see snow in the higher elevations overnight, maybe even a skift in the valley. She joins us now with more on a winter weather advisory. Aaron.
Yeah, a lot of the impacts can be felt for folks at or above 4,000 feet overnight tonight in west central Montana, but that doesn't mean it won't mix down to valleys even lower than that. The chance is definitely there. Take a look at Hamilton earlier this afternoon. Our First Security Bank iCam definitely seeing kind of a gray, cool day, a few sun breaks from time to time, more actually clear skies out there right now than we've seen all day, but that's about to change. Notice off to the west, we've got that line of showers and kind of some snow showers mixed in headed our way. Here's a look at where those winter weather advisories are in effect. They begin at midnight tonight, will last through noon tomorrow. Got more details coming up in your forecast.
Montana's lone representative says he is committed to transparency. At the same time, the public got its first look at his booking photo. Congressman Greg Gianforte's campaign spokesperson released a statement this afternoon following a Gallatin County judge's order to release the Bozeman businessman's mugshot. The statement reads in part, quote, Greg would have provided the materials on his own in August if the law allowed it. Instead, Greg volunteered the release of the information and has worked to make sure it is available to the public. Now, since being elected to Congress in May, they say Greg remains focused on serving as a strong voice for Montana in Washington. So Gallatin County District Court Judge Holly Brown issued that order today with no objection from Gianforte or County Attorney Marty Lambert. They normally don't release mugshots in Gallatin County. Gianforte pled guilty to assaulting Guardian reporter Ben Jacobs the night before Montana's special election for Congress. Judge Rick West ordered Gianforte to take a mugshot and get fingerprinted on the day of his hearing, but his defense objected. In late August, the judge ordered Gianforte to be booked into the Gallatin County Detention Center. The other part of Gianforte's sentence was $385 in fines, 40 hours of community service, and 20 hours of anger management. Gianforte completed his community service at Rock Wheels. That's a Bozeman nonprofit that makes wheelchairs for developing countries.
A former University of Montana football player who pled guilty to rape in 2013 is accused of violating the terms of his probation and could be sent back to prison. Bo Donaldson was released on parole in June of last year after being sentenced to 30 years in prison, with 20 suspended for raping a woman at his house here in Missoula. Missoula County Attorney Kirsten Pabst filed a petition to revoke the suspended part of his sentence and says Donaldson has been going to bars, drinking, also using a smartphone and social media, all violations of his conditions of release. If Judge Karen Townsend finds Donaldson did violate those conditions, she could sentence him back to those 20 years in prison, the amount of time that was suspended as part of his original sentence.
Lincoln County authorities investigating the deaths of an elderly couple that were found dead in a car near Troy.
Lincoln County Sheriff Robbie Bowe tells us the couple are from Aberdeen, Washington. They were reported missing in August. The couple, identified as 79-year-old Bruce Hulsman and 71-year-old Carol Jean Bruce, had initially been reported missing by a family member after they indicated their intentions to commit suicide together in a Facebook post in June. Using credit card data, a detective from Aberdeen tracked their movements to Libby. A city police officer there had spoke to the couple at a local motel, but said it appeared they were in good health and they denied their plans to commit suicide. A few days later, though, a family member received a letter from Bruce indicating she and Hulsman decided to commit suicide and hide themselves in the most remote woods they could find. The couple's vehicle was discovered by an area resident outside Troy Monday on a Forest Service road. Sheriff Bowe says 2 deputies from the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office determined the couple's completed suicide.
They had located a Subaru in the woods, covered with a tarp, and thought that was suspicious, and so they called local law enforcement, and we responded out there and discovered the 2 bodies inside the car.
That incident remains under investigation. After 3 attempts to approve a school bond in Superior, voters in Mineral County are passing that request to build a new junior high annex and additional classrooms.
The cost of this proposed building plan is just over $3.2 million. MTN's Kent Lutzen spoke to school officials who shared more about the major steps in this project.
On September 28th, the plan to move forward with a new Superior Junior High was approved by more than 100 votes. Superintendent Scott Kinney says there are still a few hurdles to get through before creating a concrete timeline.
The opportunity to get in line for construction projects, as you know, if anybody that drives in Missoula knows that contractors are extremely busy now, and so we want to get in on their schedule as soon as possible, so they could be swinging hammers all throughout the summer and not have to wait.
The current junior high was built in 1959 as a grocery store and was later purchased by the school in the 1970s and repurposed. Kinney said the original building was not meant to hold students or classrooms.
And so this is an opportunity to have real classrooms, to have both a metal shop and a wood shop, as well as a CAD classroom, because we do teach CAD in our building, and as well as a true health enhancement classroom.
As this project moves forward, organizers say the community's input is essential.
Well, in past experiences, the times that you haven't had that input, there's been some issues with the end users. I feel that it's the most important part of it to get the buy-in, especially with the commitment of the community. The input that we've had during the process of selling the bond has been really an integral part in getting to this point.
In Superior, Kent Lutzen, MTN News.
With new tech and health enhancement classrooms, Kinney said students will be better prepared to enter the workforce, and the community will have another resource for adult education as well. Well, still ahead here on MTN, how much snow will we see tonight? Hopefully way up high. Aaron breaks down our winter weather advisory next.
Plus, there's no one in sight for that deadly and destructive firestorm engulfing Northern California. We'll take you to the front lines, the wildfires, right after the break on KPAX.